Youngblood rapidly rose to prominence as the series' scapegoat. Youngblood has a lot of issues between the RPG components, the backtracking, and the story. Jess and Soph are similarly polarizing characters, with some admiring their goofiness and others finding them irritating. While there are some flaws, there are also some genuinely delightful components. Arcane assisted with level design, and it shows, because the level is fantastic. The fighting remains intense and fast-paced. Youngblood, when played as a co-op game, is a lot of fun. Youngblood may surprise fans of the series who have avoided it, since they have a friend who wants to play with them. It's easy to see why so many long-time Star Fox fans were let down by this installment. The new control scheme is uncomfortable, and missions in which you are not piloting the R-Wing are noticeably less pleasant. There are also some terrifying stealth missions to be found. However, as inconvenient as they are, the new controls function nicely once you get the hang of them. In addition, all of the R-Wing missions are quite enjoyable. Oh, and as a co-op game, the asymmetrical gameplay can be quite satisfying. Star Fox Zero isn't flawless, but it has a lot to offer those who give it a shot. Mad Max appeared to be met with a wave of skepticism. People soon discovered, however, that it was actually a fairly great game not long after it was released. It isn't very ambitious. It manages to strike the perfect balance between an interesting open environment and a satisfying sense of progression. It also nails the Mad Max environment and does an excellent job at translating it into a videogame. Mad Max's demise may have been precipitated by the fact that it was an open-world game published in a year with a slew of high-profile titles in the genre. Genre weariness is a real thing. If you're a Mad Max enthusiast, you'll want to check this out. Is Deception 4 home to some of the most thirsty character designs ever seen in a video game? It's possible. If you can get over that, you'll discover a fascinating game that plays like no other. You must defend your castle from intruders in the Deception series. But you don't fight back directly. Rather, you construct traps all around your castle. You can combine traps to create a type of twisted Rube Goldberg machine. These aren't just sadistic traps either. You can also make your opponents walk into a rake, then stagger back into a trap that drops a pumpkin on their head, causing them to stumble into a cannon, which then sends them into the air. Deception is frequently compared to Home Alone rather than Saw. Don't be fooled, there's obviously something worthwhile here. This is a game that has garnered a lot of negative feedback. And it deserved them for the most part. It's a clumsy, unattractive, and buggy game. Despite falling short on so many levels, Friday the 13th, the game has a certain allure. This is one of those instances where the whole is bigger than the sum of the parts. It's already a winner as an homage to the film series. It's also a terrifying game in its own right. The hairs on the back of your neck will stand up as you hold your breath while hiding under a bed as Jason stomps around. The proximity talk is a fantastic flair as well. To see something's worth, you sometimes have to delve beneath the surface. The way of the samurai games have never been visually appealing. The PS3 games all look like PS2 games that were slapped together, the combat is adequate but not great, and the story is ridiculous. The way these games deal with temporality, on the other hand, is simply fantastic. They put you in the middle of a Groundhog Day situation. By the time you reach the best ending, you'll have found common ground with your foes and will have brought others together in unexpected ways. It's exhilarating when an ending you've watched a dozen times suddenly changes radically as a result of your actions. There are no other games like these. The MediEvil remake is a nice version of a classic game with a new look. The most of the modifications are minor, but they do improve the game overall, and all of the excellent stuff from the original remains. It's a title with a lot of personality and a ridiculous, but effective sense of humor. Unfortunately, there were several significant performance concerns when the game was first released. Some of these were later smoothed out, and the game plays quite well on the PS5, but that doesn't change the fact that it was initially a little choppy. Still, this is a game worth your attention right now. Because these games are often evaluated by aficionados, the visual novel genre is inevitably going to be difficult to review. The Silver Case, on the other hand, is a SUDA 51 game, which immediately elevates its profile. That may have harmed it in this case, as it may have attracted a few people who otherwise would not have bothered. Silver Case is a great game to play. It doesn't proceed at a breakneck pace, and the protagonists aren't exactly heroes, but there's an intriguing, highly cynical story to be told. The Silver Case is definitely worth your time if you appreciate visual novels. It's possible that you're playing the wrong game at the wrong moment. Fans were devastated by what appeared to be the end of Castlevania's Metroidvania-style gameplay. Then came the news of a multiplayer Castlevania game. The entire town was enraged. Unfortunately, they overlooked one element in their rage. The game Castlevania, Harmony of Despair is a lot of fun. Each map is designed to be played as a mini Metroidvania game with multiple portions. You can zoom out at any time to see where your partners are. That everything comes to a head at the boss, where everyone engages in a massive epic combat. The sense of size in this scene is incredible. It's a grindy game at times, and the DLC irritated some players, but it's an amazing co-op Castlevania experience.